Hi everyone, this is Kay of Kay's Creative Home, and I would like to welcome you to my channel. Today I'm sharing part 5 in my series on how to make a bow. And today we'll be looking at the Pom Pom Bow and the Wreath Bow. Alright, let's get started. Hi everyone, this is Kay of Kay's Creative Home. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to part 5 on our series on how to make a bow. Today we're going to be starting with the Pom Pom Bow. The Pom Pom Bow is very similar to the Wreath Bow, so I'm going to be showing you the difference between the two. First, I've cut this piece of cardboard at 6 inches, and I'm going to start by wrapping this. I guess I can leave that. I think I'm going to do a different tail, so let me cut this off. So I'm going to start by wrapping this around my cardboard, and I want the 6-inch length, so this is one. Because that should give me about 14 loops, 13 or 14 loops. So now that I have this done, I'm going to use a full tinsel stick. So now that I have this done, I pull the cardboard out. I'm going to fold this in half. And right where I have the crease for the fold, I'm going to cut about 1/3 of the way into the ribbon on both sides. And this is how I learned to make my first bow with this method. Take my tinsel stem and pull it right into those try to pull it into those cuts. There we go. Get this a little more even. Okay. And then I'm going to twist this pretty snug. Not super tight, but pretty snug. I want it to hold it, but I want to have some room to manipulate the loops. So I start with first that's a tail. Start with my outer loops, and I start pulling it to the side. And you've got this cut so you can kind of move it around the other ribbon. So I'm pulling that one to the back. Grab the next one. Pull it to the side and the back. And I kind of go one side by side so I don't end up with everything all bunched up on one side. And don't worry about shaping them just yet. Let's just get them separated. And start pulling a few toward the front. And these last two to the front. And this is my other tail. I'm going to pull that one all the way to the back. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. This is how things are looking. So what I'm going to start doing now is shaping my loops. And you kind of want them going different directions, different angles. And this is a little tight. I probably should have made a few less loops, but you'll get the idea. Especially if you got too many, keep pulling them toward the back. So first I'm shaping them kind of on the back side, pulling some back and shaping them. So I got this one toward the back. I pulled this one toward the back. Got one here toward the back. Grab another one. Shape it up a little bit. Yeah, and I think I can get a fifth one. All of those are on the bottom side. All right. So come back around and then start the ones that are on the top side. Just trying to give them some shape. Squeezing them in between. What's happening here? And you want them going in different directions. So don't try to manipulate it and make it like perfectly all go in the same direction. I'm trying to kind of make room for the bow. Make room for each loop. So you might have to space some things out a bit. So this is my Pom Pom Bow. And it just kind of have loops going all the way around. You took a minute to shape it. I think for the 6-inch side, I would actually do a few less loops because this one is a little crowded, but you can make it work. So here we go. Say don't keep shaping the bows, you'll be shaping it forever. So that's my Pom Pom Bow. Now doing this as a wreath bow is very similar. We're going to do one more. The basic difference is going to be that the loops are going to be a little bit longer. So if we had made this with a longer tail, we would be calling it a wreath bow. So let's do the wreath bow using the bow maker. So I've put in my tail and I let it go to 8. I bored it through and I twisted it. So now I'm going to go to 4. Come back through here. And I'm going to twist. Go out to 4. Bring it back to the center here. Twist. 4. Bring it back here. Twist. And as you can see, this has been cut. 4, bring it back here to the center. Twist. See if we can get back to the center again. We're not going to make it. So I'm just going to keep going with another piece of ribbon. And then I'll end up, this will be inside the bow, so you hopefully won't even see it. So go out to 4. back to the center. Twist. Four. That's going to have to be my tail because I have run out. 2, 3, 4. So I think I have 4 loops on each side. Pick this up, take it off with a bow maker. And this is like the loop bows we did in the past. We're not going to really we're not going to be cutting into the center. We're just going to gather this and twist it so that it's tight. And we're going to start shaping our bow. I'm going to actually see if I can hold these tails down with my fingers along with the tinsel stem in the back. Here is our bow. Sorry, the angle I have it, you can see straight through it because this fabric is so sheer. But here's our bow. In this case, the gonna trim the tails. Sometimes I still have to think which way to go, so I get the fish tails and not the point. All right. And one of them is exceptionally longer than the other, so let's do that again. So here is my bow, my tails, and this one appears a little fuller because I didn't make quite as many loops. So of course you can make it with just as many loops as before, and then it would be just as tight or just as full as this one. You can see this one has got a lot more spacing in between than that one. So I think I like this one a little better. I've always liked a really full bow. Okay, so let's talk about, now this is what most people refer to as just a loop bow. So they may actually count 4, 5, 6, they may count the number of loops they have, and this I have 8 loops, so they would just call it an 8 loop bow. So that's the term you'll tend to hear more. 8 loop bow, 10 loop bow, 12 loop bow, how many loops you decided to add. Okay. Now let's talk about this using other materials. This is one time where something like jute cord would not work, because as we showed before, when you start making a whole bunch of loops, I mean, they're just gonna flop. Let's see. There's nothing there to make them stand up. What you could do is make all of your bows, well, basically you could do this. Make your bow loops and fold them in half and kind of use something to gather them at the bottom. Grab a piece of tinsel so you can see. So that would be a lot of loops, but it wouldn't be very interesting, you know. But it depends on what effect you're looking for. So here we have all our loops, but it doesn't have any kind of shape or form to it. And I don't know if you can really make much out of it playing with it. So the smaller cord doesn't really work for that. I think it would basically be about the same for a rope. If you have, it would be difficult to hold. This is so thick. For rope, it would be about the same. She got it all together. There might be some minimal shaping because this is so stiff, but I'm not sure you would get a look that you would want. You might, depending on what you want. It's not much, you know, shape or form to that. It's just, you have the loops, but they don't really conform to much. And you can't really pull it together because it's so thick. You would tie something around it and it would be like this. Okay, so that doesn't really work. Because the edges of this Deco Mesh get so afraid and they get caught on each other, I'm not even going to try the 10-12 loop bow because it's going to be frustrating. That is just going to be catching on to each other. So I'm not one to frustrate myself like this, but you could do it. It would have a shape like the 2-loop bow we did prior. If you want to go back and look at that video, just to give you a quick glimpse. The question is always what we're going to do for the tails. So here right away we got, all right, twist it again. Here we got 4 loops. And right away you can see one side is shaped. Let's try the tinsel. I'm just going to go with 6 here. See how well we do. Okay, with 6 loops, this is my tail. We talked about how curly that tail is. Okay, this isn't looking half bad. Guess it depends on how much you want to fluff out the loops. You could get a nice bow effect, but it's just, again, kind of all, it's not defined. Let's put it that way. You can't really tell one loop from the other. But if you need a nice filler, that might work. But just as a bow in itself, doesn't really look so good. But thinking if you were doing something for a wedding or some other thing like that, to have that, this one, if the loops were smaller, but to have that in the background like that, especially if it was a contrasting color, I think would add a whole bunch of fullness. So if the loops were bigger, it would be sitting out like that. So you could get some definite fullness in the back and some contrast with texture and color. Okay. So I think from here on out, I won't be including the Deco Mesh because it's just going to always look the same when you have a bunch of loops. For unwired ribbon, and this was 5/8, isn't it 5? Yeah, 5/8 inch wide. Let's try it with the board and see. Because it's narrower, I'm going to use the shorter side of the cardboard here and wrap it around, because it doesn't have the wire to hold the shape if it was a really big loop. I'm just trying to stack this a little more evenly. So you might want to pay attention to that when you're wrapping it. There we go. Because remember, we have to cut into this. Try to get the center. Okay, so I just wrap my tinsel around tight, and let's see what happens when we pull out these loops. So this is a cute little bow shape. It's not really fluffing up in the middle, but as you can see around the sides, it's got a cute little bow shape. It's working. So I would have to find again something decorative to put some of that broke off. You have to find something decorative like that to put right in the center. But you can see it worked out. That's not bad looking at all. So if you had a cute little package, you wanted a bow for. That would look kind of cute. That would be nice. And of course, you know, I would keep shaping this forever, but that worked out. I like this. Next, our gift wrap ribbon. I think it's going to do an excellent job simply because it's stiff. Has a nice stiffness to it, so it's going to look like the one. It's going to look like the silky ribbon here. Probably have a lot of that shape, but it's going to be nice and might have more. Let's put this near the edge so I don't have to take it so far to get it off of here. One. In the center, I'll cut about 1/3 of the way in. And do it again on the other side. Trickiest part about this is not cutting all the way through. Scissors can get away from you, especially when it's something difficult to cut. You start applying pressure, next thing you know, you've cut all the way through. Alright, so I got my twisty tie on here. My tinsel stem. Alright, so this is really silky. Oh boy, let's see how much trouble it's going to be to get these separated. One. And try to grab them at the base when you're twisting them back and forth, because if you grab them up here, you're going to pinch it closed and then you won't have your loop shape. I've got them all the loops separated, and you can see I can just start to shape a little bit more, opening up the loops more than shaping at this time. And this came together really nicely. You can see already I don't even have to need to do any more shaping. That came together. It's a really cute bow. Got one tail showing a little bit there. There's another tail somewhere, but it probably mixed in to one of the loops. So, and it doesn't really, it's no big deal. But here we go. I could pull this one out a little bit. Yeah, looks a little better. Yep, like that even better. Piece of glue strand, excuse that. So, our little gift ribbon worked perfectly for this bow. It's wonderful. That definitely would be cute against a little box. A little gift bag hanging onto the handle of a little gift bag. How wonderful. I believe this is going to act just like, this is Raffia. Oh wait a minute, it's got a little more shape than the other one. This is going to work just like the multi-loop bow. And it's slipping already. I don't have this tight. Let's see if I can get this tighter. I don't want this wire to break. But yeah, because it has a silky finish on it, I won't be able to twist and turn this and make it kind of shape up. If we pushed our hands in together again, it would be like the other one, the rope, not the rope, the cord, the jute cord. We could pull it together and make something like this. But it'll end up looking more like a little flower than it will a bow. But it's a bow. So, not necessarily a bow I would use, but it is a bow. So I think I would actually take a piece of my tinsel and try to wrap it around the base. I don't want the tails to get caught up in there. But if I had this, let's see if I can grab it and do it. I have to get a whole new piece of tinsel. Oh, here we go. Wrap it around the base. Yeah. Again, depending on how you want to use it, that could be very cute, but it looks more like a flower to me than a bow. But it does hold the loops in the shape, but of course it looks nothing like, you know, this shape because it's so much thinner. The width is so much thinner. Okay, but you could have this effect. So this is our bow session for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the description box below and leave me a comment. Let me know. And let me know what you think about how this series is going so far. I have, I think, 2 or 3 more different types of bows I would like to share with you. And I'd also like to share with you, I'll probably do it in one of those bows, the effects of adding 2 and 3 different, you know, types of ribbon. Alright, if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and share it with others. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you'll be notified as we release new videos. I'm also starting to intermix some of my Christmas DIYs, so I'll probably do 2. I'm trying to do 1 or 2 Christmas DIYs or videos and then a bow video for each week, but for the next few weeks. I'm going to try to get all that in. If not, I'll have 1 bow video and 1 Christmas DIY video each week. Okay? Alright, I thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll be talking with you again real soon.